Okay, so finishing up here, we have our cheek piece. We're going to go about 10.5 to 11 inches. And again, we're starting going down through the center of our loop. We're going to come back around, hold that in place. We're going to go underneath the piece that we're working with, which in this case is the cheek piece, and then back down through both loops. And all through. All the way through, and there we have our first double overhand knot. Snug that up. And as you can see, we have our nice little X pattern there. Go ahead and snug that up pretty tight. Check our length. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now we're going to go down through. I'm going to go through the ring and repeat that pattern with the second knot. I'm going to go ahead and put it through the second knot. And now what you want to do is leave yourself a little bit, open up this knot just a little bit and move it up. Okay. You want to leave yourself a little bit of slack with the piece you're working with because you're going to have to come up and through it again. Okay. So go ahead and loop around. We're going to come up and around it, the piece that we're working with. Keep your loop like that, and then back down through the center of both loops. Open that loop up a little bit, go down through the center. A little bit difficult to get through the center of that one because I have my open up these loops a little bit. I have the end is a little bit large there from melting it earlier, but get it down through there. Here we go. And there is our second overhand knot, double overhand knot. Just kind of adjust it like that. Here we go. This rope is extremely stiff and difficult to work with because it's a really hard rope. But depending on what rope you're working with, it can be a little easier than this rope is. But I like this because it's a good solid 1/4 inch poly style rope, but you got to work it with your hands. Keep those knots even, and then as you can see, we have our 2 double overhand knots. Okay, now this one we're going to adjust a little bit, snug it up, pull them away from each other, snug them up, and when we're done, we'll go ahead and put this on a stretcher. I call it a stretcher. It's not actually a stretcher. But what I do is I put this, I'll put the noseband on a heavy barbell or something, and then I'll give it a good tug from the bottom. I'll stretch all the knots and stretch it out nice and tight. And then we'll be good to go. So there you go. We got your first 2 knots done in your ring. You can tighten these all up a little bit more as we go. Nice and snug. And you want to make sure at this point that your knots are parallel to each other as good as possible before you continue on with the noseband. You want these two to be parallel. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is, instead of doing the Spaghetti Cowboy twist, which you would simply just twist this around 5 or 6 times. Okay. I ended up using a little bit too short of a piece of rope this time, so I'm going to conserve some length. I had a piece of rope that I cut that was a little short. It was right about 20 20 feet. I like to start off with 21 feet, and it's looking like I might come up a little short here. So I'm not going to make the Spaghetti Cowboy twist. I'm going to do this standard noseband here. So we're just going to follow it around and continue on down for my third knot, down through the center, holding this all in place and making sure keep double checking yourself, make sure your length is good. I'm going to come up around the top, okay, around the piece that you're working with, and then back down through the center again of both loops. Okay, like so. And there's your nice double overhand square knot. And now this here is going to have one little twist on it because of the way it's laying. No big deal. Yeah, see, so now as you can see, the ropes are slightly different length. I've got one twist on there actually. So what I want to do is take that back out. I don't want a twist on there. Take that back out. Okay. Check this here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to spin this knot a little bit like that, so that my ropes are laying a little different. So I want this rope to be laying on the inside, okay, like that, on the inside of the other noseband. And then we'll go ahead and get down through. And now, as you can see, my ropes are laying parallel to each other. That's what you want right there. Okay, hold that in place, loop around. Now we're going to come down around the piece we were working with and back down through the center of both loops. And there, now we got a nice, there we go. While the knot is still loose, you want to adjust your lengths. Push that through a little there. And always remember, when you're working with these knots, the top side here is the bottom side here as it wraps around through, and vice versa. So if you want to push, if one's longer than the other, you want to push the opposite one in order to get the slack in or out of them. So in other words, I'm pulling this one here, it's going to be this. I'm sorry, opposite. This is going to be that one there. Good. Pull down through. And just keep working them and snug them. Try to keep your knots to where it's going to be, you know, the ropes are going to be parallel to each other as you're working. Okay. That one's still a little longer, so I'm going to push that in. And as you can see, that's going to come around and it's going to be this strand here, so I'm going to pull that back through. Here we go. Now we're good. Snug it up. There we go. And check my length. Check. Oh, see, now I'm not parallel anymore. See, these two are not even. So I'm going to have to go ahead and loosen that up one more time and move my knot down right about to here. So what you do is you just press the knots into each other. You're going to loosen them up like that and just work your way down by twisting and sliding your knot down. See? Like that. There you go. Oh. All right, there we go. And we're back parallel. Okay, on to our last knot. I'm going to go through the ring. Okay. Loosen that up a little bit. I'm going to go down through the center. draw this back a little bit because remember I want to have a little bit of slack because I got to get underneath that. Okay, I'm going to loop around, hold my loop in place, come up around that and down through both loops. There we go. And there is my last double overhand knot. And there we go. Snug that up good. Check my lengths, and that's about spot on right there. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten them up, snug them up good. This is a workout, so if you got weak hands, you're going to want to have somebody do this for you. And I can make them for you if you need me to. Just go ahead and email me, and I could get one made for you. And there we go. So now we're on to our last knot. Now here is where we're going to work with the piece that we have not been working with, and that it was the short piece in the beginning. Lay all this out like that. Okay, they're both about the same length now, and a little bit different. But here we go. So we're going to take the piece that we were not working with earlier. And we're going to go up alongside the other one, and we get it to the same length. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and make that same knot one more time. Go underneath and behind yourself, and then down through. So that again, your rope on the top is going down and away from you for your pretzel knot there. Okay, so a little bit far up, and bring it back. Make sure these two are the same length. You want these two to be the same length. Okay, here we go. And now for your side cheek, your final side cheek piece, again, the same thing. You want it to be the same length. So measure it up as close as possible. It's a little confusing here, but these two are the same. And then right about there. Good. So what we're going to do is take that other piece and we're going to run it down through and make our final knot. Take this out of the way now. It's going to be our final knot. Up over the top, around itself, and loosen that up a little bit. Back down through both loops. And there you have it. Double overhand knot, your final double overhand knot. See? Tighten it up. And before you make it too tight, go ahead and check all your lengths again. Okay. So it's a little, yeah, it's pretty good right there actually. Okay, so it can come down a little bit on the cheek piece. So we're going to press it into each other and bring her down a little bit. There we go. Tighten it up. Check it again. All right, so we're good there. And we are good on the cheek piece lengths. And a little off. This still can come down a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and loosen it up one more time. And slide it down. these cheek pieces. Now I'm a little bit longer on this one than this one, so I've got to push this one. I got to slide this out a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and push this one. And that's going to give me some more length on that. Here we go. See? Tighten it back up. Okay, and that should be good right there. There we go. Pretty even. And there you have it. Spaghetti Cowboy side pull rope halter. And now you've got these two lengths that came out almost even, which is pretty darn good. About an inch off there. This was pre-cut to the length that I was working with. And it's always good to have a little extra, and you can cut at the end, cut them off the length you want, and melt your ends. And then I usually put a little electrical tape or a leather piece around here and sew it on there for final product. But as you can see, this is your tie off here. Go down through this way here. Or not. And there you have your completed halter. Okay, I hope that helps you guys out. And again, if you have trouble making one on your own, you can always reach out to me, Frank Joseph, Spaghetti Cowboy, via the email that's provided, and I can make one and have it delivered to you. So there you go. Now I'm going to take this actually and stretch it out. And the cool thing about these is once you get them adjusted to where you need them, when you put them on your horse, and if you lunge your horse in these on a long lunge line, and if they tend to pull on you a lot or whatever, it kind of tightens it up as you go also. But you want to pre-stretch them before you get them on your horse as much as possible. Once you get them all good and even, what I do is I work the knots quite a bit. I keep working the knots, and then I'll go down in my gym or to the gym, and I'll actually put this on a really heavy barbell, like on the floor or something, and I'll grab a hold of this, or you can even put it on your foot on the ground and just pull against it, stretch it out, stretch, and just keep stretching and pulling until your knots get good and tight. Once you have them even where you want them, make sure they're where you want them, and you can always loosen them up again and readjust the halter later. It's not like a machine stretch where it's so tight that you can't move these knots. Like some of the ones you buy, on the market are so tight you can't even get the knots loose. But the good thing about making your own is you can readjust it as needed, and I like that. So again, here's the front view. It's your Feodor knot and your loops. You got your 5/8 inch brass loops for your side pull. You can hook your roping reins or whatever style rein you like to use. I like using the split rein, leather rein with the snap, put them right on there. And if I want to just ride a really good well-broke horse, I can just hook up the leads both to the Feodor knot and ride like a traditional hackamore. So best of all worlds right there. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good night.